We welcome you to this broadcast of boys varsity basketball on NKTelco Sports. We are at Russia Local Schools where the Fairlawn Jets will take on the Russia Raiders. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Copeland, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, Minster Bank, Pratt Industries, New Knoxville Supply, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, Jewelry Barn, and NKTelco. Good evening, everyone. I'm Craig Fissinger with my broadcast partner tonight, Brandon Coverman. And Brandon, it's homecoming night, and here in Russia, that always brings a little extra excitement in the air.
Yeah, you have the homecoming pep rally. I'm sure that they had before, the battle of the classes there. I'm sure that they had, or the Hunger Games classing that they did when I was in high school, at least. They had that beforehand. Gets the pep, gets the spirit going. You got the homecoming dance tomorrow. I'm sure the girls are going to be up early. The guys are going to go get their shirts and ties. We're going to have to learn how to tie a tie here tomorrow, and it'll be a fun weekend here. But we got business to handle here right now.
Yeah, we're about 3.5 minutes from tip-off, and prior to this game, there was a junior varsity game, and that one, Russia won by the final of 51-23 for the Raiders. Jackson Grogin led the scoring with 14 points, and for the Jets, it was Bryce Enos with 8 points. Let's talk about the Russia Raiders, and they are led by interim head coach Spencer Cordonier, who is actually in his fourth season running the program, if you want to count those years from 2015 through 2018. Overall, he has a current record of 66-20 for a 77% win percentage, and that is the best win percentage in boys school history. This season so far, his Raiders are 11-1 overall, 5-1 in the Shelby County Athletic League. Kobe, Russia had a huge week last week with games on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. It started out well with a win over Fort Laramie and ended well with a win over New Bremen, but you got to believe the Raiders weren't happy about that game Friday and would like to play that one again.
Yeah, I was on the call for that game Friday and Saturday. That game Friday, they just ran into a buzzsaw of a very good veteran team over there in Jackson Center and, lost by 13 points. But they came back, responded really well, and played a very good second half against New Bremen and beat a quality New Bremen squad. It probably goes to one of their better wins of the season. You've been off for 6 days, so it's the question of, you've been off for a while. How do you respond? Two teams that are on the opposite ends of the league spectrum. The Raiders tied with the Jackson Center Tigers at the top. The Jets at the bottom. They've lost 10 in a row. How did the Raiders respond here tonight? They come out, play fast, and play quick here to try to knock these Jets out of the game early.
Well, let's look at some season statistics for Russia on the year. Over 12 games on offense, they are averaging 61 points per game, and on defense, just 36 points per game. If we look at individual statistics, leading the Raiders is Hayden Quinter at 14 points a game. Braylon Cordonier is next at 11. Braden Monin is at 8. Zane Shappy, 7. Felix Francis, 6. Xavier Flippo, 5. Ross Fissinger, 4. Vince Borchers and Colby Monin at 3. And rounding things out is newcomer Benjamin York at 1.5 points. Kobe, if I had to pick one star on this team, I'd have to say it's Hayden Quinter, but make no mistake, this is a Raiders team that can hurt you in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I think, watch the Press Pros interview this week with Sonny Folks, and Spencer Cordonier put it really well. He's like, I got 5 guys that I think could score on the floor really any time, and really he's really honest, but it does start with Hayden Quinter. He had a really good freshman year. I think kind of took a step back as a sophomore, but has taken a leap over that freshman year with his junior year performance, and is on pace to be the 8th Raider in school history to score 1,000 points if he can stay healthy. And he's really been spearheading this team, but the Raiders have at any time 5 guys that can score from anywhere on the floor, which has put them in this position that they're in at 11-1 right now.
All right, well, real quickly on Fairlawn, just 1-12 overall, 0-7 in the league. What do you say if you're head coach Dennis Davis to your team?
You go out, you play hard. I probably expect a zone here quickly. Right out the gate, which the Raiders saw a lot of Saturday against New Bremen. So, play hard. Try to pressure those rear guards, force some turnovers, and take advantage of every possession you have. Make every possession count.
Yeah, this is a game that Russia can't take lightly. These Fairlawn Jets did just get beat by Houston on a buzzer beater a week ago, and then they had Covington tied in their last game at halftime, ended up losing that game. But We'll talk more about that here in a moment. We're going to take a short break for tonight's national anthem. We'll come back with your keys to the game and your starting lineups. Fairlawn versus Russia is next on NKTelco Sports.
I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
And now it's time for our Keyhole Pizza keys to the game. Brandon, if you're the Russia Raiders and the Fairlawn Jet, what are your keys to the game tonight?
First, taking a look for the Jets. They want to make every possession count, especially against a scrappy Raider team. You want to also limit the turnovers. The Raiders are probably going to press here tonight. You want to be able to rebound against a taller Raider team. And taking a look for the Raiders, needs to get off to a fast start. You can't let these Jets stay in the game early. You need to be able to crash the boards and to be able to create good wide open shots, which the Raiders do. As Spencer Gardonier leaves this offense pretty wide open for this Raider team.
And those are our Keyhole Pizza keys to the game. If you're wondering what these two schools did in their first matchup earlier this season over at the hangar at Fairlawn, that was back on December 2nd, and Russia dominated the first three quarters, outscoring the Jets 52-18, which then that allowed the Raiders to coast in the final frame and win by the score of 58-24. Leading the scoring for Russia that night was Hayden Quinter with 16 and Braden Monin with 13 for Fairlawn. The top scorer was Drew Westerbeck with 9. And let's look at our starting lineup, sponsored by Emerson Copeland. Brandon, how about the starting lineup for the Fairlawn Jets?
Taking a look first for the Jets, you take a look at this team, at this roster led by second-year coach Dennis Davis. You have number 2, junior Drew Westerbeck. Number 5, Isaac Clayton, sophomore. You have number 22, Gavin Landry, a junior. Number 23, Dalton Davis, a sophomore, and rounding out the lineup, number 40, Aiden Haynes, a junior. And for the Russia Raiders, they're going to stick with the same starting 5 they have all year. That's 5'10" senior Zane Shappy. And then you have 6'1" junior Hayden Quinter, 6'2" junior Braden Monin, number 24, 6'3" sophomore Braylon Gardonier, and rounding out the lineup, number 34, 6-foot senior Xavier Football.
All right, and those were our starting lineups, sponsored by Emerson Copeland. Getting ready to jump at center circle is Aiden Haynes for the Jets, and for Russia, it's Hayden Quinter. Ball is in the air, and Russia will control the tip, and the homecoming king, Zane Shappy, will control the Raider offense. Congratulations to Zane Shappy, and also Audrey Stickle, who was our homecoming queen tonight. Raiders get things going here as the Jets are back in a man-to-man defense. Quinter gets the ball over to Cordonier in the corner. Shappy's going to take a 3, and that's no good. Rebound down to the Jets, as falling down with it is Isaac Clayton. Ball's going to go out of bounds, and the Raiders are going to get possession.
Looked like a man initially, and then looked like they dropped back into a zone. It was a little little unique look there from Fairlawn to start.
Yeah, we saw the junior varsity for the Jets playing in that zone defense as Cordonier's got it on the left block, puts up the baby hook in the lane. That's no good. Ball knocked around. That's going to go across the half court and out of bounds, and the Jets will get it as Shappy gave chase but couldn't catch up to the ball. So Jets will inbound it here at the half court as Drew Westerbeck, the junior, gets set to inbound it. This Jets roster consists of 8 juniors and 2 sophomores, no seniors, Brandon, which is kind of unique.
Yeah, I took a look at that roster too. Kind of surprised. This is the first time I've seen Fairlawn play all year, but it gets you a little experience too for the next year. You know, a young, youthful roster for Coach Dennis Davis.
Haynes in the lane, puts it up and off the glass. He's going to get fouled. Aiden Haynes will head to the line for 2.
And this is where early on in the game, if you're Fairlawn, you get a foul like this in a game that you're not favored to win. You need to hit these foul shots here early, try to assert that you're going to stick around here against this Raider team.
That foul whistled on Xavier Flippo, I believe, as Haynes hits the first free throw and puts the... I'm sorry, he actually knocked that one off the rim.
Okay, hit it there.
Yeah, he did hit that one, and no score on the board yet. Finally, the Jets do get both those free throws, so...
Okay, I was going to say, and just put it up there late.
So Fairlawn lead the game 2-0 here at the 7-minute mark. Raiders with the ball in the corner. Braden Monin thinks about a 3, gets it on top to Shappy. Now on the left wing to Flippa, who kicks it out to Monin. Monin's 3 is no good. Raiders do get the rebound, though. Quinter with it and loses control. That's when going to go out of bounds. That's knocked out by Dalton Davis. Raiders will keep it and inbound it there by the Jets bench.
When the Raiders get that rebound in the short corner, the Jets are collapsing down on them. Raiders going to have quick ball movement here tonight.
Credit to the Jets for coming out very aggressive here to get things started. And just the 1 win on the season. They are in the midst of a 10-game losing streak and desperately looking for a win. What better one to get than over the Raiders here tonight, who are top of the league with the Jackson Center Tigers. Just 1 loss, both those teams. Shappy with the ball now. Gets it to Flippo. Flippo working on that left block. Haynes just pushes him out of the way.
Yeah.
Cordonier now on the right block, double teamed by a couple Jets. And yeah, Fairlawn in about a 2-3 zone. Raiders trying to figure out how to penetrate it. And Cordonier's going to get fouled by Haynes on his shot attempt. He'll head to the line for a couple.
Raiders liking to really run that baseline, so to speak, get that ball to the short corner is really where they're looking to get it to. Again, look at Hayden Quinter getting a lot of looks here early on. But yeah, Haynes kind of just pushed Flippo. I know Flippo's a physical post, a physical forward, and Haynes just shoved him out of the way.
Brandon Cordonier hits the first of 2 attempts here. Cordonier second on the team in points per game at 10.7. His season high, 16 points. In game number 2 versus St. Henry, he'll split the pair as the Jets will keep a 1-point lead. Rushi with the rebound, though, and Cordonier's going to take a 3. He misses that one. Weak side rebound from Quinter. Quinter off the glass and up. And speaking of leading scores, Hayden Quinter leading this team at 13.9. He gets a couple there.
Yeah, and that's what that zone does. Is it's hard to rebound. It's hard to rebound those areas that are left wide open, and the Raiders take advantage there.
We're going to get it's like a precision strip timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take it with him. Rushi leads Fairlawn 3-2.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County has a job for you. Grand Lake Health System has over 800 employees. Included is Joint Township District Memorial Hospital and multiple physician practices. And we're now hiring a variety of positions that fit all education and skill levels. Plus, you'll get a great benefit package offered to both full and part-time workers. Join this rewarding career and help your community in the process. Contact Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County for all your employment needs.
Rushi leading Fairlawn at 3-2. Here at Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium on homecoming night. And Jets with the ball coming out of that precision strip timeout. Our scoreboard, by the way, sponsored by First National Bank. Think First. Haynes with the ball on the right block, goes up. He's blocked by Quinter and blocked by Francis. Felix Francis down in the game. 6'5" Raider coming off the bench. He is the tallest Raider on the roster. And Quinter, where he scored earlier, up and off the glass again. Hayden Quinter now with 4 points. Russia a 3-point lead, 5-2.
That's Hayden Quinter's bread and butter right there, taking that ball to the baseline in the short corner like that. And that's his bread and butter. If Fairlawn's going to give that to him, it's going to be a long night for them.
And bucket by the Jets, so they answer quickly. Russia with the ball. That last basket by Dalton Davis. And an easy bucket for Braden Monin as he was found all alone underneath the basket. Braden Monin, the third leading scorer on the team at about 8 points per game.
They're starting to get comfortable now as it's a turnover there. Starting to get comfortable finding the weak spots in that zone. It's that quick ball movement, ball fakes, moving it around this zone defense that's going to get the Raiders some good looks.
Aiden Haynes will head to the bench for the Jets, and coming in will be Nolan Kramer, a junior. Kramer, number 15 out there, as Quinter tries to throw it off the back of a Jet, trying to get a little tricky there and maybe get an easy bucket. He smiles as that didn't quite work out as he planned.
I had an old teammate by the name of Dion Putoff that would try that all the time, and it works sometimes.
The Jets get inbounds, and a Raiders steal as Monin all alone underneath. This time he scores from the other side. Braden Monin with back-to-back baskets gives Russia a 5-point lead at the 4:46 mark.
Raiders have scored on four straight field goals. They're taking those high percentage looks and kind of abandon the three-point shot.
Westerbeck trying to work the ball down the floor. Double teamed by a couple Raiders in Monin, and Francis finally gets the ball out, but no, he turns it over to a Raider. Shappy with it, trying to get it down to Monin, and Raiders can't control that possession. Goes out of bounds, so Jets will get the ball. Russia almost picked up another easy basket.
Yeah, Russia with another turnover in transition there as a couple subs coming in for the Raiders now.
Vince Borchers along with Ross Fissinger will come in, and Zane Shappy and Braden Monin heading to the bench. Vince Borchers a 6'1 sophomore. Fissinger a 5'11 senior. And a long pass by the Jets as Nolan Kramer retrieves that one. On top, Westerbeck's going to set up the Jets offense. Russia back in the man. Borchers giving Westerbeck all kinds of problems there. Finally gets it out to Kramer on top to Dalton Davis. His three is no good. Rebound to Felix Francis, and Borchers will bring the ball up the floor for Russia. Cordagna with it down on the right block. Works his way into the middle of the lane. Shot up with the glass, no good. Gets his own rebound. A tie-up. We'll get a whistle and a foul on Fairlawn.
Yeah, the Raiders are starting to get those higher percentage looks here and crashing the boards here. They're out-rebounding the Jets 6-2 here in the first quarter.
That foul will go on Nolan Kramer. That is the second team foul for Fairlawn versus just one for Russia, as the lob in from Quinter is retrieved by Cordagna. Quinter's going to take a three, and he knocks it down. Hayden Quinter can score from inside and outside. We've seen that already. He's got 7 points to lead all scorers. Russia with a 12-4 lead.
Again, we know he's expanded his game, and really the shot looks so much more smoother this year from Hayden Quinter. There's that run and jump from the Raiders.
Jets with the ball. Kramer gets it on top to Dalton Davis. Davis back to Kramer. On top now to Clayton. Gets it over to Landry. Landry up and off the glass. A little jump stop. That's no good. Rebound Francis. Felix Francis at 6'5", can pull down some rebounds.
Yeah, and he's grown a couple inches over the summer. Really lanky, a little thinner. Maybe like in the summer for him to bulk up here a bit, but a steal by the Jets.
Yeah, nice steal there by Davis on Quinter, and up and off the glass. No, Westerbeck's going to get blocked out of bounds. Jets will keep the ball.
Raiders have turned the ball over 3 times. Have been a little sloppy with it at certain parts in the half court. Something you haven't really liked that you've seen from them here in the early going.
Flippo and Monin come back into the game for Shappy and Quinter, and also for the first time for the Jets, Trey Sparks, number 4, and a junior, is on the floor. Sparks with the ball on top, being guarded by Fissinger. Gets it over to Davis. Davis being guarded by Borchers. Davis gets it down to Westerbeck, cutting towards the basket. Sparks now with it. It's going to take a jumper over Fissinger. That's off the rim. No good. Rebound, Xavier Flippo. Raiders with the ball once again. Borchers kicks it out to Fissinger into the corner to Monin. Monin getting it down low to Francis. Out to Fissinger. Fissinger's going to take the three, and he nails it. Ross Fissinger for 3 points. Fissinger comes in averaging 3.5 per game. His season high is 14. That was versus Bradford in the Covington Holiday Tournament. Russia now with a 15-4 lead.
Russia's hit 6 out of their last 7 shots, Fish, and are heating up from the floor with an 11-point lead.
Russia, a team that's averaging 61 points per game, allowing just 36.
And you got to think, too, you gave up 65 to a very good Jackson Center team. So, again, that speaks to how really good their average has been when they allowed about double their average to one of probably the top 5 teams in the state of Ohio, you'd have to argue, in Jackson Center, when they held them earlier in the year to only 41. So it tells you that the scrappiness this Raiders defense plays with.
Aiden Haynes back into the ball game as Gavin Landry heads to the bench. Jets with the ball. They trail by 11. 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Westerbeck being guarded by Monin. Monin considered one of the better defenders in the Shelby County Athletic League. Typically guards the best player for the opposing team.
Yeah, his length and his quickness gives him that ability, Fish, to do that. Little longer arms. Sits at a 6'2" range. It's pretty normal for our area. You know, we don't usually possess a lot of size in our area, but he does a nice job in being the defensive go-to guy.
Fissinger with the ball on the baseline. Going to get it over to Shappy in the lane. Floater by the homecoming king, and he gets 2. So Zane Shappy gets his first 2. Raiders with a 17-4 lead now.
And a nice assist from Ross Fissinger right there. Seniors finding each other, and a nice little floater in the lane by Shappy. Raiders firing on all cylinders offensively lately.
Jets trying to get something going. Just one field goal so far by Dalton Davis. A couple free throws by Aiden Haynes, and a steal by Borchers. Borchers spin move in the lane, up and off the glass. Pretty move there by Vince Borchers.
Oh, that was smooth, Fish. And Vince Borchers, man, if he can elevate his play, gives the Raiders another depth piece here. Nice play by the sophomore.
We're going to get a full timeout, a precision strip timeout. We're going to take it with them. Russia leads Fairlawn 19-4 on NKTelco Sports.
We are here. And here. And here.
Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
I want to thank some of our sponsors here tonight. Additional sponsors include Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Cy Sweeterman Inc., Dickman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Park National Bank, SecureCom, and St. Henry Bank. And Brandon, some other games going on tonight in the Shelby County Athletic League in addition to ours.
Yeah, Botkins and Laramie, 2 NKTelco schools battling it out at the Coliseum. I know Dave Helmstead are currently on the call for that last update that we have. Botkins up ahead of Laramie, 24-20. So Laramie with 2 losses in the Shelby County Athletic League. If they get that 3rd loss here tonight, probably most likely takes them out of that Shelby County hunt, as it looks like it's really coming down to the Raiders and the Jackson Center Tigers. Even though they've played twice, both of them are trying to avoid a slip-up here. As we know, the Shelby County, a very good league like it always is.
Coming out of that precision strip timeout, the Jets turn the ball over, not what head coach Dennis Davis wanted to see. So with 1:12 to go here in the first period, Russia once again with the ball. Fissinger with it now in the lane, goes up and over and gets the bucket and the foul, hooping the harm for Ross Fissinger, who's having himself a good first quarter.
Yeah, and that was a nice quick move to the basket, and I have to wonder if it was his mom or his dad that gave him that nice quick first step to go to the basket there. But the senior looking very, very good here in the early going. You know, Ross Fissinger provides that energy off the bench. He's that 3-and-D type of guy usually, but right now he's showing you he can score from anywhere on the floor.
4 seniors on this Russia roster. In addition to Fissinger, you got Zane Shappy, Xavier Flippo, and also Colby Monin, who we'll likely see a little bit later in this ballgame. Now, Colby Monin on the floor, as a matter of fact, being guarding Aiden Haynes. Monin 6'3". And he's a load for opponents when he gets down underneath that basket. So under a minute to go, a three on the way by the Jets, and that's no good as Isaac Clayton misses the shot and then crashes the board, knocks the ball out of bounds. Rushi with the length of the floor to go. Trying to add to this lead. 18-point lead.
The Raiders trying to slow things down, dissect this zone again. So we're going to set play.
Monin with it now, getting it to Colby Monin. 2 Monins in the game, and Braden Monin and Colby Monin. Not cousins from what I understand, but a lot of Monins in the Rushi area, that's for sure. Flippo with it now in the corner, being guarded by Westerbeck. Gets it over to Fissinger. Fissinger 28 feet from the basket. Gets it over to Monin, now 30 feet from the basket. Shappy, this is where he can shine. 10 seconds to go. He's going to let a three go. That's off the back of the iron. Bounces around. It doesn't fall. Tipped by Flippo is no good. Flippo trying to put it up. He's going to get tied up and fouled. So with 0.9 seconds ago, Xavier Flippo is going to head to the free throw line for 2.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that foul call. I thought the Jets had possession of the basketball there as well. But again, congratulations, Zane Shappy, homecoming king. Pretty high honor.
So Xavier Flippo at the line. Flippo not a guy that averages a lot, just a little over 5 points per game. Had 2 in that last game versus New Bremen. Misses the first there. Normally a very good free throw shooter. Xavier Flippo we've seen his role kind of change from that freshman year where he was looked at as a scorer to now a little bit more of a defensive presence. And
yeah, his role has evolved, you're right, and he's done a nice job allowing the other teammates to help him out, and players like Zane Shappy as well.
So Flippo splits the pair and gives Rushi the 19-point lead, 23-4. That's the end of the first quarter. Brandon and I will take a break and be back for the second period. You're listening to high school boys basketball here on NKTelco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
And we're here at Rushi's Claire Cinevo Gymnasium, where the Raiders currently lead the Fairlawn Jets 23-4 on homecoming night. If you listen to our pregame, Brandon and I talked about the keys to the game. Those are sponsored by Kiel Pizza, and our starting lineups, which were sponsored by Emerson Copeland. You'll notice there on your screen that the scoreboard is being sponsored by First National Bank, and the Rushi Live View sponsor is Jewelry Barn. Also stick around for their post-game where Brandon will have your NKTelco player of the game, and of course all timeouts being sponsored by Precision Strip. So Rushi with the 19-point lead as we head into the second quarter. On the floor for the Raiders will be Felix Francis, Braylon Cordonier, Vince Borchers, Hayden Quinter, and Colby Monin. As Colby Monin trying to get it down low to Braylon Cordonier, will throw that ball out of bounds, looks at his coach and shakes his head. Not the way you want to start the second quarter.
No, and they try to get a post up for Cordonier, thinking he had a mismatch on the inside there on Westerbeck, and he did. It was just too hot of a pass from Colby Monin.
Landry with the ball, gets it on top to Davis. Davis being guarded by Vince Borchers. So far the Jets just one field goal in that first quarter and a couple free throws as Landry's down low, tries to put the shot up. That's not going to go, but Francis is going to get whistled for the foul.
And what you got to recognize there as Francis is coming over from that left wing, as you see him kind of squat low there, you know if you're going to jump up, that's pretty obvious that the other player is going to go up, and 85 to 90% of the time you're probably going to get that foul called. So you got to be able to stay on your feet and stay straight up and force him to try to kick out that ball again.
Gavin Landry hits the first of 2 attempts. Landry had 5 points the last time these two schools played over at the hangar. goes 2 for 2 there. Had just 1 point in that loss to Covington last Saturday. Jets lost 57-42. They actually had that game tied at halftime, 22-all, but couldn't hang on in the second half as Covington picked up the win in that one. Francis is going to take a three. That's off the front of the rim. No good. Not a shot you normally see Felix Francis take, but
no.
When you got a 17-point lead, what the heck?
Yeah. Trying to, and if a 6'5" guy can shoot a three, that's another thing you got to defend this Raider team, which it's already pretty tough to defend.
Whistle on a foul on Hayden Quinter. That will be an inbounds in front of the Raider bench. Rushy, their third team foul versus 4 for the Jets. Pass in the corner is going to be knocked out by Vince Borchers. Fairlawn will try once again. Westerbeck trying to, Isaac Clayton trying to inbound it. Throws it over to Landry. Landry being guarded by Cordonier. On top to Clayton. Clayton being guarded by Quinter. Back to Landry. Landry at the free throw line. Looking for a teammate. Finally gets it to Haynes. He's going to work against Monin. No, he's going to kick it out. Trey Sparks with it. Hands it off to Davis. Jets having problems with this Raider defense, and finally Quinter gets a steal. Speaking of defense, gets it over to Francis, and he's going to lose the handle. Going to go out of bounds and back to the Jets.
Raiders at time have been a little sloppy in transition. Yeah, they turn it over there. That's their 5th turnover. Most of those coming in transition.
Clayton with a full court pass, trying to hit Haynes like a quarterback trying to hit a wide receiver. Just threw it a little too long.
Yeah, and it's just not a play right there that you can do full court.
Not exactly a Joe Burrow to T. Higgins, huh?
No, not exactly like that right there. And whoa, what a play right there! I love that. That is a coach's son right there, just hitting it right back to Quinter, and that's why these guys have played together for so long. And that's a nice play right there by Cordonier, more giving the assist to Quinter.
Yeah, it's no secret one of the keys to Rushy's success this year is just their chemistry, as a nice floater by Davis is the second field goal in this first half for the Jets, and a baseline jumper from Quinter is going to roll around the rim. No good. Rebound, Haynes. Rushy, again, just a very good chemistry. All these kids seem to get along. A lot of selfless players out there, share the ball well. And again, a big key to their success, as Dalton Davis will get back-to-back buckets for the Jets. Trims that Rushy lead to 15.
Yeah, and the Raiders have kind of come out of each first 2 quarters slow a bit. But you got to expect that again with not playing for 6 days. It's tough when you're in the middle of the season like this.
Quinter's three is no good. Rebound weak side from Monin. Monin going to work against Haynes, going to try to put a shot up. Nice post move there. Davis going to get whistled for the foul. Yeah, so far this quarter, Fairlawn outscoring Rushy 6-2. Monin's going to try to cut into that here at the free throw line with a couple.
And Colby Monin, 6'3" again, if you can get him going. Guys like him and Ross Fishinger, the seniors, that can provide that spark that adds to that Raider depth. I was talking to a player from another school, and I asked him, I said, what did you think when you played Rushy? What was your thoughts? And look at this. They have a line change here right now. I was talking from this player from this anonymous team where he was saying, Brandon, we only substitute in about 6-7 guys. These guys are bringing in 9-10 guys as their line changing. They're subbing constantly. They're pressuring you. And he said it was really tough to keep up with, who was in and who you were guarding.
Monin does split the pair. As, mass substitutions for Rushy. One of those players on the floor for the first time we'll see is Benjamin York, and a nice shot there from Drew Westerbeck as he gets his first points. Leading scorer for the Jets, had 9 in that Rushy contest that we called over at the hangar.
Again, the Jets have now hit their last 3 field goals here.
Fissinger's going to take the 3. That's off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound to Sparks. Sparks gets it over to Clayton. Clayton back to Sparks on top. Westerbeck now with it, being guarded by Benjamin York. So York in the junior varsity game. York just a couple quarters in that junior varsity game, saving the other 4 for this varsity contest. Didn't play in that first quarter. That ball knocked out by the Jets out of bounds, so Rushi get possession as Flippo's going to enter the game, and Monin will head to the bench.
It's kind of interesting, too. It's something you know, I've been around Rushi boys basketball a long time. You haven't really seen too many people do the 2 quarters, play a little bit of varsity. Braylon Cordonier did it last year, but you kind of knew he was going to get put up to varsity eventually. He's too big of a talent to have on JV. And it's a clear walk there by Monin. Jack Daypour, I know when I was in school, did it for 1 game, and then he was up on varsity. But it's interesting here, you know, to see what Coach Cordonier's doing. York, a big talent's had a lot of big games on JV. But this Raiders team has good chemistry, and the Raiders are trying to find a tournament identity right now. What's your rotation going into tournament? You're in the second half of the season. You know, who's going to get the playing time and who's not?
We'll talk more about that tournament a little later in this ball game. We get an opportunity as Rushi gets the Fairlawn turnover. Down low with it is Flippo on the right block. Kicks it out to Shappy. Shappy's going to take a 3. And the homecoming king finally nails one. That is the 3rd 3 for Rushi. And 5 points for Shappy. Did have a field goal in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's a nice looking 3. We've seen Zane do it for 4 years. And here comes that run and jump from the Raiders.
And almost another Fairlawn turnover as Fissinger knocks it out of bounds at the half court.
I was waiting to see when the Raiders would kind of bring that run and jump back. The offense had kind of been lifeless when they've been playing a full court game. They need to get back to that transition. They need to get back to that running again like they want to do. And they kind of got away from it. It's kind of what brought Fairlawn a little bit of that run for a little bit. And credit a nice adjustment from Coach Spencer Cordonier.
Whistle at the half court, and we're going to get a kick ball there?
Yeah.
So Landry to inbound it in front of a couple of Rushi's biggest fans there at half court, Jason Spradlin and Aaron Monin.
I think big's a little bit of an understatement.
Jets with the ball as Sparks now with it, gets it in the corner. Westerbeck's going to take the left-handed 3-pointer. That's no good. Rebound to York. York to Shappy. Shappy going to run the break for the Raiders in the corner. Monin to York. Back to Shappy, down low to Flippo. Flippo turnaround in the lanes, a little short. Picking the ball up will be Westerbeck. Jets with the ball, trailing here 29-12. Sparks in the lane, trying to get it to a teammate. Ball knocked around. York finally picks it up. Shappy now with it. Going to dribble around Kramer up and off the glass. No good, but he's going to get fouled. And Nolan Kramer, the junior, will pick up that foul.
Yeah, and you like to see a Flippo there. Flippo cleared out a little too late for Shappy to get to the lane. Clear out a little bit there. Flippo's best shot's probably that short corner shot from about 12 foot away. He can clear out there. Shappy has an option to dish off to him if he wants to and be there for an open jump shot.
Zane Shappy with a couple at the line, nails the first one. Substitutions for the Jets as Haynes and Clayton will come back in for the Raiders. Cordonier and Quinter back in for Fissinger and York. Shappy with one more to go here. As we said in the pregame, Zane Shappy averaging 7 points a game, had 10 in the win versus New Bremen last Saturday. His season high is 16 as he gets both. And Zane now with 7 points in this first half.
Yeah, the Raiders going back to face guarding, going back to full court press, which I like out of this team.
Davis with the ball, gets it in the corner. Clayton working against Quinter. Westerbeck, that's Clayton. Clayton number 5, Westerbeck number 2. Haynes saves the ball from going out of bounds as he's guarded by Flippo. Gets it to Westerbeck, being guarded by Monin. Braden Monin, that is. And Westerbeck holding the ball a long time. Finally gets whistled for the 5-second count. Not sure what he was looking at there,
no.
Brandon.
No, I don't know either. Just kind of a mind lapse, and that's a dozen turnovers now. Again, credit that Raider pressure, and that's, like I said, this is a very athletic, and this is probably the deepest the Raiders have been in my recent memory. That's why they're able to press, and that's why they're not getting tired. They were sub in so many bodies.
Monin's going to take the 3. That's a little short, and rebound down to Isaac Clayton. Sparks up the floor with it for the Jets. On top to Davis. Jets trying to work their way back into this ball game. Sparks now to Haynes. Haynes against Cordonier into the corner. Westerbeck's going to take the 3. That's off the front of the iron. No good. Rebound to Braylon Cordonier.
Jets now 0 of 4 from beyond the arc tonight.
Shappy finds himself all alone. Is going to take the 22-footer. Rattles around, no good. But rebound to Flippo, who did a nice job getting position, but then throws the ball away to Davis. Davis's ball is knocked out by Quinter, and Fairlawn will inbound it underneath their own basket.
Yeah, it's two times I think Shappy's taken a shot, and it's just danced around and out.
So Russia coming in tonight, 11-1, 5-1 in the SCAL. Right now, trailing, I guess you say, Jackson Center, who is 6-1, both teams with just one loss. Russia splitting the season series with them as a turnover by the Jets, and Monon's going to be all alone and tries to put it down, misses the dunk, but Francis with a rebound, and he's going to get fouled.
Oh, good try there, but not too much spring in his step. You know, I talked to Braden Monon's grandpa, Denny Mon, and he told me as I was visiting him, and he said, I bet my grandkids $100 when they could dunk a basketball, and him and both his brother were able to dunk a basketball this year. So Denny Mon lost $200, giving his grandson money from being able to dunk a basketball.
Well, he should have made the bet, dunk a basketball in a game.
Yeah.
Denny might be $100 richer. And a turnover by the Jets as Shappy throws the alley-oop to Cordonier. He can't make anything of it, and he turns it over. So Jets with the ball. We're getting a little sloppy here these last couple of possessions.
Yeah, they got 9 turnovers now, and it's getting sloppy at times for the Raiders. And in the half court, in transition at times, they've struggled too. Even though we know the Raiders like to run. Again, it's tough too. This is a game that they probably should win, and now Coach Cordonier getting on him.
Yeah, Felix Francis picks up his second foul, and with that, we'll get a precision strip timeout. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll take it with him. Russia leads Fairlawn 31-12.
Whether you do business from a corner store or a corner office, there is one asset your business cannot do without: the internet. Everything from sales and marketing, training and shipping, PR, HR, and R&D, your business relies on a fast, reliable, and secure connection. And now, it's more important than ever to partner with an internet provider you can trust. Get Flight Fiber for Business, backed by local tech support from NKTelco. Call today.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
I'd like to remind our viewers that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Replays of this game will be on Thursday, January 26th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, January 29th at 7 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Brandon, Coach Cordonier not real happy during that timeout.
Yeah, getting a little sloppy there. I don't know what that alley-oop pass was about, and sometimes, that's one thing, as times you're wanting to have fun as high school kids too, but you need to keep putting keep the pedal down, so to speak, and at times they've stopped doing that in this game, and it's caused the Jets to stick around a bit.
So under a minute to play until halftime. Raiders with the ball, and the missed shot by the Jets, and a nice move by Felix Francis, who just picked up his second foul, but Francis redeemed himself with a layup.
That's a good take by Felix Francis. You need him to be tough and physical, and that's a good take to the baskets. Something Hayden Quinter-esque right there.
Jets with the ball as Clayton loses control, but gets it back. Ball knocked out of bounds, and Jets will keep it. You want to stick around for the halftime report. Brandon and I will have all your first half numbers. That's coming up here in about 30 seconds. So Clayton will inbound it for the Jets. Gets it over to Davis. Davis cross-court pass over to Kramer. Kramer in the lane, picks up his dribble. Instead gets it out to Sparks. Sparks drives, gets his shot up, and almost looked like a Raider foul, but
yeah.
Missed shot attempt. Raiders with the ball, and we're going to try to put a couple more points on the board before this first half is over.
Yeah, maybe try to get a flat play here, try to get Hayden Quinter and ISO.
Quinter working against Sparks, gets double teamed, finally fakes it out to the corner and up and off the glass. Nice move there by the junior.
Yeah, it seemed pretty easy. That's what the Raiders were going to do, and Quinter gets another score.
And that will do it for our first half. So Russia leads Fairlawn 35-12. Cody and I will take a short break. We'll be back with your halftime numbers. You're listening to high school boys basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County has a job for you. Grand Lake Health System has over 800 employees. Included is Joint Township District Memorial Hospital and multiple physician practices. And we're now hiring a variety of positions that fit all education and skill levels. Plus, you'll get a great benefit package offered to both full and part-time workers. Join this rewarding career and help your community in the process. Contact Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County for all your employment needs.
It's halftime here at Rucci's Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium, where the Raiders lead the Fairlawn Jets 35-12. I'd like to thank tonight's sponsors who make this game possible, and that is Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Copeland, CarriageWorks, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, Minster Bank, Pratt Industries, New Knoxville Supply, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, Jewelry Barn, and NKTelco. Brandon, let's look at these first half numbers. What do you got?
Yeah, taking a look at the first half here for Russia, they were 13-31 from the field, 3 of 11 from beyond the arc, 15 boards, 9 turnovers, 5 of 9 from the line. The Jets are 25%, 4 of 16 from the field, 0 of 5 from beyond the arc, 9 boards, 14 turnovers, and a perfect 4 of 4 from the charity stripe. Taking a look at the individual scoring, first for the Jets, they were led with 6 from Dalton Davis, 2 from Aiden Haynes, 2 from Gavin Landry, and 2 from Drew Westerbeck. For the Russia Raiders that half, they were led with 11 from Hayden Quinter. They had 7 from the homecoming king, Zane Shappy, 6 from Ross Fissinger, 2 from Felix Francis, 4 from Braden Mon, and 2 from Vince Borchers, 1 for Braylon Cardonier, 1 for Xavier Flippo, and 1 for Colby Mon. And the scoring after one quarter, the score was 23-4, and the score at halftime is 35-12 Raiders.
And folks, if you're looking for something fun to watch this weekend, I'd like to call your attention to the second annual MLK Classic taking place in Fort Laramie this Sunday, January 15th. 12 schools from the area and around Ohio were invited to this event, and it's some of the top boys basketball teams and talents in the state. The best part is, if you can't make it to Fort Laramie, NKTelco is broadcasting 5 of the 6 games. Listen to this lineup, and I'm going to let Brandon talk about it here a little bit, but at 12 o'clock noon, it tips off with Anna versus Liberty Benton. Then at 1:30, it's Russia versus versus Willard, and Willard has a junior star by the name of Max Dawson who can score like crazy, and he's getting a lot of looks from Division II colleges right now. The third game at 3 o'clock, I'm excited about this one. St. Mary's versus Lexington, and that's St. Mary's star, of course, 6'11", Ohio State commit Austin Parks, and Lexington, they got a freshman who's a 6'4" star named Braden Fogel, who's already got Division I offers from Arizona State and Texas A&M. After that, the 4:30 game, it's Fort Laramie versus Yellow Springs. And one note for NKTelco viewers, that game will not be broadcast live, but it will be recorded and replayed on NKTelco and on our YouTube and Facebook pages a little later. Then at 6 o'clock, back on NKTelco, Marion Local takes on Springfield Shawnee. Marion's got a pretty good big man and 6'8" junior Jack Kanapke, and Springfield Shawnee, they got a star in 6'4" senior Zion Crow, who looks like he might be playing college ball at the Division II level right now. Finally, the nightcap, 7:30, Minster versus Miami East. And I know most older folks like me probably remember former NFL star Curtis Enos. He once played high school ball at Miss Central Valley. Well, Curtis's son, Wes Enos, plays for Miami East. He's a junior that's getting some D2 college looks right now, and he's got a teammate named Jacob Roth, who he's pretty good too because he just had his 1,000th point scored already this season. But going to be a great event. Brandon, I know you're calling some of those games.
Yeah, calling that Liberty Benton Anna game and the Willard Russia game. So really excited to see the Raiders, expand that non-conference horizon. I really credit Coach Spencer Cardonier and what he's done, and really to try to make this team better. Some teams, to get better, you have to play the better teams. And when you play basketball in the Shelby County League, you play that double round robin. So you play everyone twice. You play the Laramie's, Botkins, Jackson Centers, Annas, twice. So you get those 8 games. Then you play in the MAC. You play Versailles. You play Marion. You play Minster, St. Henry, so on and so forth. And then you're really challenging yourself by playing a D2 Willard team, getting some respect, just trying to get better. This loss isn't going to hurt if they lose, it's not going to hurt the Raiders' reputation. But if they win, it gets you some confidence and it makes you a better team, which is what you're trying to do in January. You're not trying to peak in December. The Raiders were kind of the scourge of the area, here early in the year when they bolted out to that 10-0 record right away, and rightfully so. But now you're trying to get better. Now that record's great, but no one cares what you do in the regular season. It's all about what you do when it comes to February and March. And the tournament draw for the girls is going to be here in like 3 weeks. Guys is in like 4 weeks. So I said this during the JV broadcast. It always seems like after we think basketball is so long, but once it goes after Christmas, it gets on such a downhill slope where it's so fast. But the MLK Classic is going to be fun. I'm excited to call it for NKTelco.
Yeah, competing with the big Fly to the Hoop event down there. I like this event. A lot of local teams in there and a lot of stars coming from across the state. But yeah, you can if you can't be there in person, you can watch it on NKTelco. So look forward to that. Both these teams coming out with their same starters they had to start the game, and we're going to get a whistle and an offensive foul from Russia. That's going to go on Zane Shappy. Shappy will pick up his first foul. And Shappy, the homecoming king tonight. It's homecoming night here in Russia. Zane Shappy, the king, along with his classmate, Audrey Stickle, who was our homecoming queen. Congratulations to both of those seniors. Jets with the ball. They trail by 23 points here in this start of the second half. Dalton Davis with the ball. Gets it over to Isaac Clayton. Clayton working against Braden Monin. Clayton's going to drive. Gets underneath the basket, but too far. Kicks it out to Westerbeck. He's going to get in the lane, up and off the glass. Drew Westerbeck, who had 2 in the first half, starts the scoring out here with 2 in the second.
Yeah, now 4 points now for the junior. Yeah, we said this team, no seniors on this team, so a very junior-laden Jet team.
Russia, on the other hand, with 4 seniors, 2 of them out on the floor, and Zane Shappy and Xavier Flippo. In the corner, Hayden Quinter, a junior with it, gets it to the sophomore Cordonier. He misses the shot. Rebound to junior Aiden Haynes.
And again, the 10th rebound of the game for the Jets.
Landry with the ball for the Jets, working against Cordonier. Gets a screen there from Clayton. Westerbeck now working against Monin. Davis kicks it in the corner to Landry. Landry's going to drive baseline, gets picked up by Flippo. No, gets around him, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. Was that before the shot?
Yeah, before he tried to split the team, the defense there.
So Fairlawn will inbound it underneath their own basket. And a whistle and a substitution as Vince Borchers will come into the game for Zane Shappy. Shappy picked up that offensive foul just a moment ago. Landry looking for a teammate, finally gets it on top to Clayton. Clayton being guarded by Quinter. And ball knocked out of bounds. That will go off the hands of Dalton Davis. Rushi now going to get an opportunity to match that field goal that Westerbeck scored a little earlier.
That's 16 turnovers now for the Jets, too. The Raiders trying to dissect this zone defense here.
Yeah, we saw Coach Cordonier animated during one of the timeouts, trying to get his Raiders fired up. You got to think he gave them more of the same in the locker room there at halftime. Not happy with how these Raiders played that second quarter for sure. And a floater by Quinter in the lane is good. Hayden Quinter, who led all scorers with 11 in the first half, gets the first Raider points here in the second.
It's up to a baker's dozen now, 13 points, 5.5 to go here in the third quarter. And here's that run and jump from the Raiders again.
Westerbeck on top to Davis. Davis a long way from the basket. Gets a little closer there at the three-point line. Hands it off to Clayton. Jets having problems getting close to that basket on this Raider D, and going to get whistle. Coach Dennis Davis will take a timeout. We'll stay right here. You want to recognize our cheerleaders. You might have saw them at halftime. Rushi cheerleaders putting on that performance. Those varsity cheerleaders for the Raiders are Jillian Chapman, Abby Fisher, McKenna Hoyne, Gracie McLennan, Annalise Magato, Anna Meyer, Grace Monin, and Mackenzie Rose. You might have saw the junior varsity cheerleaders out there as well. They are Emma Dapor, Alexandria Garkey, Ella Flippo, Camille Saunders, Abby Sherman, and Savannah Spradlin. Their advisor is the longtime Brandy Flippo, and we'll mention those Fairlawn cheerleaders a little later as we come out of the precision strip timeout up on our Minster Bank Think First scoreboard. First National Bank Think First scoreboard, Rushi 37, Fairlawn 14.
Yeah, I think the Raiders just trying to get some flow here. You mentioned a bit ago, Coach Cordonier animated one of those timeouts, and the Raiders are winning by 23. Obviously, the game's not over, but at times they have gotten a little too relaxed, and I think Coach Cordonier's trying to keep them competitive here.
Raiders with the ball. Felix Francis in the ball game. Gets it out to Braden Monin in the corner. Vince Borchers now down to Cordonier on the baseline. Kicks it out to Quinter. Monin's all alone. Is going to take the three. That one's a little short. And Braden Monin, who had 4 in the first half, misses that three-point attempt.
The Raiders 25% from beyond the arc. Haven't shot the three ball very well tonight.
That they haven't. And Raiders have a long lineup of guys that can hit that three-pointer. And turnover by the Jets. Monin gets it over to Quinter. Quinter up and off the rim. That's no good. Quinter looked like maybe he was going to go up for a dunk. Fortunately, the Raiders keep the ball. Shot no good by Monin. Cordonier tries to save it and throws it into the hands of Aiden Haynes. Rushi looking a little sloppy on that one. Like I said, Quinter wasn't sure if he was going to try to go for the dunk or the easy layup.
They tried to go for that and an alley-oop in the first half, too, and neither of those connected either.
Reminds me of the Covington Holiday Tournament when Rushi was 1 for 4 on dunk attempts, as the three-point attempt by Quinter is no good. Rushi not looking very sharp here in this third quarter. So far, both teams just 2 points, and we're at the 3:37 mark.
Yeah, and it's been just, a slow quarter. Just kind of a lethargic game, so to speak.
Other action going on in the SCAL tonight. Right now, Bakken's leading Fort Laramie at the end of the third quarter, 33-29. Leading the way for the Trojans is Carter Plyman with 16, Caleb Maurer with 10 for the Skins.
That's a battle of two probably first-team all-leaguers right there going at it. And a very good game that's here on NKTelco.
A whistle and a Raider foul. That's going to go on Hayden Quinter. That's going to be his second foul.
One issue in that Raider game, when you look at each of them in Jackson Center, they've each lost one game each to each other. That's they split. One issue was Quinter got in foul trouble that game. Quinter was the lead Raider, I think, the 13 in that game. He got in foul trouble, fouled out of that game, so he was at periods of times he missed that game, which put the Raiders behind the 8 ball a little bit at times.
Substitution for Arushi now as Ross Fissinger into the ball game along with Vince Borchers, Felix Francis, Braylon Cordonier, and Zane Chappie. Jets with the ball. Sparks kicks it out to Clayton. Clayton with the ball now. In the corner, Kramer. Back to Clayton in the corner, working against Borchers. Davis now with it. In the corner to Kramer. Trying to get it down low to Haynes, and a turnover by the Jets as Cordonier comes up with it.
It's 18 turnovers now for the Jets.
6'5", Francis, the junior, working with it in the paint. Going to have to get out of there before he gets whistled for 5 seconds, or 3 seconds. Fissinger with it. He goes for the layup and gets fouled. He'll head to the line.
Seen a nice night from Ross Fissinger, providing some spark off the bench. A couple nice takes to the hole, and he's going to shoot 2 more free throws here.
Fissinger with 6 points in the first half. All those in the first quarter, had a 3-pointer, and then got the bucket and got fouled and made his free throw attempt. So have a couple opportunities here from the line. First one's too hard off the back of the iron. Substitution for the Raiders as Xavier Flippo getting ready to come in. But no, we're going to get a precision strip timeout. And while we have this timeout, we will recognize those Fairlawn cheerleaders. The varsity cheerleaders are Laura Lee Chambers, Martha Chrisman, Liliana Phillips, Caitlin Stute, Victoria Seibert, Sam Quinlisk, and Jenna Batten. The junior varsity cheerleaders are Ariana Young, Zandria Piper, Caitlin Craig, Riley Longmire, Maya Hulskamp, May Lantis, and Riley Whirling. And those are your Fairlawn cheerleaders.
Again, shout out to those cheerleaders. They put in a lot of work, too. I think sometimes that gets pushed by the wayside. They do a good job to keep positive school spirit. Again, it's what gets lost in the fold of high school sports, sometimes it being a positive environment for the students to express themselves that are in an academic environment. And, sometimes that does get lost in the fray. But, credit the school and credit schools and their cheerleaders for keeping up good school spirit.
So coming out of the precision strip timeout, Ross Fissinger will get one more opportunity from the charity stripe where he missed his first attempt. Fissinger averaging about 3.5 per game, has exceeded that already, and that soft shot rolls off the front of the rim and down. So Fissinger now with 7 points. His season high, by the way, was 14 in the Bradford game. Raiders now lead by 24 points.
Here comes that pressure from the Raiders, that run and jump, and they left Haynes wide open.
Haynes all alone, as you said, on the right side of that basket. He gets the easy bucket for Aiden Haynes. He had 2 free throws in the first quarter. He now has 4 points. Raiders a lapse on defense. Francis with it, gets over to Shappy. Shappy being double-teamed by a couple Jets, gets it back to Francis. Francis in the paint, going to go up and up. No, that's going to be blocked by, it looked like Nolan Kramer.
And Francis, if he could have looked, Fissinger was wide open in the corner if he kicked it out.
Sparks with the ball now for the Jets. Stopped by a couple Raiders in Flippo and Fissinger. Shappy now guarding Davis. Davis picks up his dribble, trying to find a teammate. Get it to Kramer. Rushi trying to turn up the defense here this last minute and a half of the third quarter. So far, the Jets outscoring the Raiders 4-3 in the quarter. Going to get a whistle on a foul. The Jets will inbound it in front of their own bench. That foul will go on Zane Shappy, his second. Team fouls right now, Rushi with 4 in the second half. Fairlawn with just 1. Davis with it on the baseline. Gets it out to Haynes. Haynes much rather have that ball underneath the basket than the three-point line. Davis is going to let a 3 go. That's no good. Rebound, Zane Shappy. Borchers with it now, gets to Fissinger, kicks it out to Shappy. Shappy lobs it down low to Francis. Francis on that right wing, kicks it back to Shappy. Shappy in the paint, back to Francis. Nice assist by Zane Shappy, and bucket by Felix Francis.
And that's probably Zane Shappy's best attribute right there, is good basketball IQ. And getting that ball down there to Felix Francis. Nice play by Zane Shappy.
If my memory serves me correct, Zane Shappy came up to the varsity about the 3rd game of his freshman campaign. Been here ever since.
Yeah, and he's been a good one, too. And very good center fielder on the baseball team. Defense and good IQ is his MO.
Ball knocked off the hand of Felix Francis, I believe, going to go out of bounds, and Jets will keep it as a couple substitutions. Landry and Westerbeck come back in, and Davis and Haynes will head to the bench for the Jets. Had a chance to talk about future plans for Russia, and they've got an addition coming up here. Brandon, the construction going to start this summer, and a new gymnasium part of that.
Yeah, and some games that you and I are going to get a call for hopefully a long time in that gym. But, we talked about it multiple times. We are going to miss this crow's nest here as Flippo hits the shot, but we're going to dearly miss this crow's nest up here. It's not too many places that have crow's nest. This is one of my, and I talked about in the broadcast that I did the other night, one of my top 5 favorite places to call a game, not just because I'm an alum here and I've been to so many games here, but just love the view from a crow's nest like this. It just gives you such a unique game. It's like you're watching it on a TV.
And the final seconds of the quarter tick off the clock, and Vince Borchers will end that with a bucket of his own. So after 3 quarters of play, Russia leads Fairlawn at 44-16. We'll take a break and be back in a moment. You're listening to High School Boys Basketball on NKTelco Sports.
We are here, and here, and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
I want to remind our viewers that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Replays of this Russia Fairlawn game will take place on Thursday, January 26th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, January 29th at 7 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Russia with the ball coming out of that quarter break. On the floor with Zane Shappy, Braden Monin, Colby Monin in the game now, along with Braylon Cordonier and Xavier Flippo. Zane Shappy with it, gets it in the corner to Flippo. He's going to take a three, and Xavier Flippo looked good on that. That's the way you come out of a quarter after a sloppy last 8 minutes.
Yeah, and I like Xavier Flippo with this team being so talented. Like we said, he's taking a little more of a backseat role, so to speak. He's got to at times be not timid to take shots, and I'm glad he took that shot right there and he connected, because we know he can score and give you those 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-point nights right there.
That is the 4th three-pointer for the Raiders. If you're wondering, they had 3 in the first half, just their first of the second half. Missed shot there by the Jets. Raiders with the ball. Monin down low with it, up and off the rim, no good. Rebound to Westerbeck. Westerbeck's going to run the break for the Jets, 2-on-2. Kicks it out, though, to Clayton. Clayton beyond the arc, working against Flippo. Landry with it, puts up the floater. That's no good. Rebound by Colby Monin, the 6'3 senior, with the board.
The rebounding this half been even, too.
Cordonier trying to get it down low to Monin, kicks it out to Flippo. He's going to take another three. That's a little short off the rim. Rebound, though, Braden Monin. That shot's no good. Keeps it alive. Cordonier with it. His shot's no good. Another rebound. Finally, Flippo gets fouled. He'll head to the line.
And the Raiders probably lucky. They probably got away with the foul of their own right there beforehand, and a couple missed shots there, but the Raiders going to the line now.
So Xavier Flippo in the ball game right now. He's got 6 points. He's averaging just a little under or a little over 5 as he misses his first attempt. Substitutions now as Davis and Haynes back in the game, heading to the bench. Will be Kramer and Clayton. Xavier Flippo in his last 3 games, 2 points in the New Bremen game, 2 points versus Jackson on Friday night, and no points in that Fort Laramie game. So Xavier Filippo having a little bit of a bounce-back game as he splits the pair there.
And again, Filippo, I'm glad I'm seeing him, like I said just a second ago. Open up, take more shots.
Jets with the ball. They trail by 32. Almost getting close to that running clock, Brandon.
Yeah, and a nice play there by Benjamin York to keep that alive there.
Saw Benjamin York a little earlier in the first half as Cordonier gets it up and off the glass for Braylon Cordonier. He had just a free throw in the first half. He gets his first field goal. He has 3 now.
Again, that just shows you how good this Raider team is nearing a running clock, and probably are just arguably their second best scorer gets his first bucket of the game in the fourth quarter this late.
So 9 different Raiders have scored in this ball game. The only player that hasn't scored that's gotten any time is Benjamin York. And Jets will get whistled for the over and back.
Again, the turnovers just mound. There's 22 now for the Jets. Again, can't have any of that in high school boys basketball and expect to be competitive as we have a timeout.
Get a whistle and a precision strip timeout. We'll stay right here, and for the Fairlawn Jets, their next game coming up will be Newton right away tomorrow night. And for the Russia Raiders, they got a big game coming up on a Sunday.
Yeah, and talk about that, the MLK Classic, the game against Willard. I'll be on the call for that along with AJ Lisi. So if any of you Russia fans who can't make it out to Fort Laramie, you can buy that game on NKTelco. We're glad to bring you coverage pretty much all day of the the MLK Classic at Fort Laramie. So hopefully you guys can join us, buy a ticket, and we're glad to bring you that. It'll be a lot of fun. And again, the Willard Crimson Flashes is they're going to be playing. I love that mascot. Willard's most famous alum, which we know a couple of them, one by the name of Charlie Fry, who played football at Akron and was quarterback for the Cleveland Browns from 2005 to 2007. And also a coach that coached many games in this gymnasium, a alum of Willard, John Willoughby.
You're right. He's now over at Sydney, but got a chance to see John Willoughby. And, he's in their Hall of Fame over there at Willard.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. And I thought I heard that the other day when I was kind of doing some research. But yeah, Charlie Fry and John Willoughby, a couple of alums of Willard. And interested to see what the Crimson Flashes will bring. And a good test for Russia. We talked about how the Raiders' schedule is just so tough. And again, it adds to it playing the Crimson Flashes.
Well, maybe we'll see Coach Willoughby in the gymnasium on a Sunday. Of course, Sydney not playing then, so hopefully he'll see his alma mater playing as we come out of that precision strip timeout. Raiders with the ball. They're outscoring the Jets right now 6-0 here in the fourth quarter as Monen's jumper from the left elbow is no good. Ball knocked around. Looks like Davis is tied up with Monen on that. We're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow will favor the Jets.
And Francis just lost it there off the miss.
Jets with the length of the court to go. Russia going to back off the pressure here with this big lead. 34 points.
Yeah, puts that running clock just a little close, and I'm not a big fan of that running clock. Feel like in the regular season it kind of hurts players. Time for players as that running clock will be initiated now. I feel like it hurts time for kids to just play and to get better. You only get 22 games a year. It's limited time, so especially when you're in high school, you never get those moments back. So, and you got people coming in spending, they're coming in. If you have a family of 4, you're spending $30 to come watch a game, and you go to concessions and everything. You drive, and you're saying, the second half is only going to last 20 minutes. I mean, it's going to detract people, in my opinion, from wanting to come to the games.
Couple substitutions for Russia now on the floor with Ross Fissinger, Vince Borchers, Colby Monen, Benjamin York, and Felix Francis. Drew Westerbeck on the floor as Kramer will inbound it to Davis. Also Trey Sparks and Aiden Haynes out there for Fairlawn. Running clock here in this fourth quarter. Already about half over, and falling down with the ball for the Jets is Drew Westerbeck. He'll get whistled for the traveling violation. Speaking of that postseason, Brandon, boys tournament draw will be here before we know it. That is set for Sunday, February 5th. And for Russia, their big games versus Fort Laramie and Marion happen after the tournament draw.
Yeah, again, and that's the thing you always got to love about playing Marion local is it's a team that gives you a tough test, but it gives you a tough test right before that tournament run. You face that size and physicality of Marion. Laramie is a game to possibly close out a potential Shelby County Athletic League title, one that the Raiders haven't gotten in 5 years, since 2018. And that'll be, obviously, if that comes to fruition, if the Raiders can keep pace in the Shelby County Athletic League, which they'll stay on pace here tonight, that'll be a big game. As Laramie always brings a big crowd as Westerbeck hits the three. It's going to be an interesting draw. You can go a lot of ways. There's going to be a debate. Who's the 1 seed? Russia or Jackson Center? They both lost one time each, but, Jackson Center won by more than Russia. You have to see what the other coaches like, and it's going to be interesting. Trick Christian not in the sectional anymore. You'd have to assume probably it's going to be some form of Jackson Russia at the top, and then right behind him being Fort Laramie or Botkins in one way or another. Don't know the ending of that game right now that's being played, but those have kind of been the teams that have run the show here lately, and it'll be interesting. I was talking about my favorite gyms earlier, Fish. Piqua Garberry Gymnasium is probably, honestly, my favorite. Love the Garberry Gymnasium. It just oozes that high school basketball energy that folks in this area just love and crave.
Yeah, the atmosphere is unbeatable, that's for sure, and looking forward to that. As you said, going to be a lot of good basketball being played there, regardless of who gets those top seeds. And a lot of substitutions for Russia just coming into the ball game, as the 3 from Bryce Enos is no good. Enos was the top scorer for the Jets in that junior varsity game. He finished with 8 points. Fairlawn fell on that one by the final of 51-23. Leading the way for the Raiders was Jackson Grogian with 14. He is in the ball game, number 5 out there on the floor, as the layup from the Raiders is up and good. I don't know, who got that one? Benjamin York?
No, that was a layup there from number 23 of Fairlawn, Dalton Davis.
Oh. So we're going to get a stop and play. Timeout, and just as you said, just for substitutions, Ben Rinderly on the floor for Russia, along with Zeb Schultze out there as well. As we said, Jackson Grogian with the ball right now. Grogian gets it over to York. York down low to Rinderly. Ball taken away by the Jets, and that is Aaron Maddie, number 12, one of those 8 juniors on the Fairlawn roster. Jarrett Shear, number 1 out there. We saw him in the junior varsity game. Kramer working with it. A turnover as we now have under a minute to play. York with it. A pass fake and gets the layup. Benjamin York now becomes the 10th different Raider to score.
It feels like, Fish, that's been a common theme with a lot of these Raiders teams, not even just on the boys' side, but the girls' side. You count these games, there's always 8, 9, 10 players scoring. So a lot of depth, too, for the blue and gold this year.
Shot on the way there from Aaron Maddie is no good. Rebound by the Raiders in the final 15 seconds. You got to figure they're going to tick off the clock here without Russia doing anything else.
And that'll be all.
Jackson Grogian will dribble it out, hand it off to Benjamin York, who will stand with the ball underneath his arm. And that will wrap things up. So Russia will win by the final of 54-21. And while Brandon tallies up the final numbers, I want to take one more opportunity to thank our sponsors here tonight. They are Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Copeland, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, Minster Bank, Pratt Industries, New Knoxville Supply, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, Jewelry Barn, and NKTelco. If you got a chance to listen to our pregame, you heard Brandon talk about our keys to the game. Those were sponsored by Keyhole Pizza, as well as our starting lineups, and they came to us from Emerson Copeland. Scoreboard tonight, sponsored by First National Bank. Timeouts came to you from Precision Strip. The Russia Live View sponsor you see there on your screen is Jewelry Barn. And, of course, coming up in just a moment, we'll have our NKTelco Player of the Game. Additional sponsors quickly before we get to our stats are Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Cy Sweeterman Inc., Dickman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Park National Bank, SecureCom, and St. Henry Bank. Brandon, what'd you have on your stat sheet?
Taking a look here first for the Fairlawn Jets, they were 8 of 27 from the field, 1 of 8 from beyond the arc, 19 rebounds and 25 turnovers, really the big number here tonight for Fairlawn. They were a perfect 4 of 4 from the line, though, and on the flip side for the Raiders, they were 21 of 53 from the field, 4 of 14 from beyond the arc, 27 rebounds, 11 turnovers. Not very good from the line tonight. They were only 6 of 13 from the charity stripe. For the individual scoring, first for the Jets, they had 8 from Dalton Davis, 7 from Drew Westerbeck, 4 from Aiden Haynes, 4 from Aiden Haynes, 2 from Gavin Landry. For the Raiders, they were led with 13 from Hayden Quinner. They had 7 each from Xavier Flippo and Ross Fissinger, and Zane Shapp. So 3 seniors getting 7 points apiece there. Felix Francis had 4, Braden Monin with 4, 4 from Vince Borchers, 3 from Braylon Cardonier, 1 from Colby Monin, and 2 from Benjamin York. So, at times there's a 23-4 lead for the Raiders. Kind of coasted there a bit in that second and part of the third quarter. They put the pedal back down enough to get the running clock, but the most important thing for the Raiders, they get a homecoming night victory. They stay atop of the Shelby County League and going to enjoy a day off, so to speak, but you're going to expect a curfew Saturday night from Coach Spencer Cardonier before you play the Willard Crimson Flashes on Sunday.
Yeah, you got to think Coach Cardonier is going to have some cleaning up he wants to do both on the offense and defensive end before that big game on Sunday. And Brandon, a lot of choices there. 10 different Raiders scored in the ball game. Who do you pick for your NKTelco player of the game?
Well, I think it's going to be the King. No, we're not talking Elvis Presley, but we're going to go with Zane Shappy. 7 points tonight. He could have gone with Hayden Quinner, could have gone with Ross Fissinger, but I think Zane had 7 points, some really good IQ plays that really you saw him more make his freshman year. He hasn't had to make as many of those anymore, but you kind of saw the younger version of Zane out here tonight, and it was really nice. He played a really nice game, and Zane Shappy has earned our NKTelco player of the game, so congrats to him. Congrats to the Raiders on a homecoming night victory. Enjoy homecoming, boys, but be ready for the Willard Crimson Flashes on Sunday.
All right, with that, Fairlawn will drop to 1-13 overall, including 0-8 in the SCAL. They will next be in action right away tomorrow night with a road trip to Houston. Varsity, they will improve to 12-1 overall and 6-1 in the league. And as Brandon just mentioned, they got a game coming up at that Sunday showcase at the Fort Army MLK Classic, taking on Division II Willard. And that will wrap it up for us tonight here for a final time. Varsity defeats Fairlawn 54-21. We hope you enjoyed NKTelco's broadcast of high school boys basketball. Thanks for tuning in. And from Varsity local schools, Claire C. Nouveau Gymnasium, I'm Craig Fissinger. For my broadcast partner, Brandon Coverman, saying good night, everyone.